I was gonna sing Happy New Year, but never mind, never mind. It's not a New Year yet. Guys, welcome to Level Up Circle TV. Happy Sunday to everybody. And Christmas is around the corner. So tonight we're going to be talking about emotional regulation strategy. I am lecturing humanities in college version. So that is the reason why you're seeing a lot of psychology conversation, because that is the topic of a lot of my students lately. You know, they're veterans, they have PTSD, they also have, sometimes are lonely when their kids are out of the house. You're an empty nester. There's a lot of changes happening, you know? So, welcome again to Level Up Circle TV. This is an independent TV channel through E360 TV network, and we are, I think, growing 2.1 million downloads for our network every month now, I believe. So that's pretty cool, right? Hi, everybody. Do you like my new hair? I know this. I'm so mad. I literally, it took me over almost 2 months. Like, I'm so mad um, because I ordered it in October, like mid-October, and it just came like last week. So I was not happy, but it's okay. It's okay because it makes me happy and it's like so Christmassy. So I am all good. And I usually don't do light eye makeup. It's always usually like glitter, gold and dark. And I'm kind of loving the white, actually, to be honest with you. I just did my makeup maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. So it's not perfect, but hey, it is what it is. Today is all about regulating my emotions because it's been like a roller coaster lately. So, welcome. First of all, okay, HOB right here. We're always looking for ambassadors every 3 months, guys. It's that about the end of 3 months for some of our ambassadors. So we are cycling in. HOB has leveled up officially today. So DM me if you need to know more about Hounds of Business community. You do have to have a business to be part of our group. And of course, our fearless leader, Mike Ass. It's on LinkedIn. It says Mike Ass. Oh my gosh, that is the new nickname other than sister. Oh my word. Anyhow, this is Mike Asher Banner. Please check out the Hounds of Business community. And my lovely sister, yes, she is going to be a speaker next year. That is what we're manifesting. She has experienced leveled up version of workshop, not just on LinkedIn, but now actually on a college level. I invited her to present at the college for 4 times in a row. Speaking of certificate, sister, I do have your cert. I just need to give it to you. I got it approved just last week. Anyhow, I am so happy to tell you that Susannah and I, Susannah's project, she's lead project on this one, Against the Grain, is coming out on Friday. I don't know why I sound like Halloween. It's literally Christmas. Hello? Like, how does a gnome sound? Do you guys know how a gnome sound? I don't know how a gnome sound. But anyway, it is coming out. So please support everybody in this book and read their story. And then, of course, Susannah and I, because it is December 1st, we have changed now. I'm going to change the price tonight for our anthology where there is no theme. You can just tell your story. And that is what we're doing all the way till March. So start writing now. The March is coming up. I'm also still looking for Level Up Circle, the Year of Reinvention magazine. This is the only issue that you will get in for free next year if you're on this issue. And I will be your accountability partner every quarter to make sure that you are on target for whatever you are manifesting for next year. So please make sure to join me. 2 more spots left on this one. And then here is 50% off, of course, Black Friday all the way to Cyber Monday. Mike to Millions book podcast circuit group is free. And we are usually going it's probably this coming weekend. I don't know if I'm driving to Benicia or not, but we might have a podcast circuit on Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the week after next. Tuesday, okay, of December. And it is free to come into our podcast circuit. But if you want to be on TV, there is a monthly fee on that one. So, yes, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Check it out. This is some of the books. This is the 4 magazines and the 4 books that, well, 5 going in. And then, of course, Susannah's. Look at this beautiful cover. I know I'm whispering, huh? For effect, guys, for effect. She created this cover. I'm so proud of her. I think our year is gold, sister. I'm really loving the gold for show. All right, let's go ahead and start, guys. Let's go ahead and start. So, emotional regulation strategy. This is the STOP method. I don't know why my name is all the way up there. Anyhow, um, if you have not known what the STOP method is, it's basically S stands for stop. Pause whatever you're doing. Stopping gives you a moment to interrupt that cycle of stress and prevent automatic reactive response. When you get stressed, it's just like when you're hungry. You get really irritated. You're probably sweating. You don't respond well when someone asks you a question, and you get triggered really fast and you're snappy. Right? It's because the behind the scene in your head literally is a movie running. I can't do this. I can't do this. This is just too much. I can't do this. That is what's happening. You need to stop everything. Take a moment for yourself. Breathe. Walk away from the situation. Walk away from your desk. Throw your phone. Well, don't throw your phone. Put your phone down slowly. For some of us, somebody has new phone right here. We need to put the phone down. Walk away from the phone and literally stop what you're doing. Okay? T is take a breath. Take a few deep breaths. Like, what it does, it really stops the cycle of that emotional roller coaster, the negative thoughts that's coming in. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4 and hold it for a little bit. Now go ahead and breathe through your mouth. I know some people will do through your nose because we have better filtration to your nose, but sometimes it feels so good to just do it on your chest, right? Count to 6. This activates your parasympathetic nerve literally in your nervous system to calm your body and mind. So just do it 10 times, at least 10 times. Even though it says 4 times, if it's really stressful situation, go ahead and do it for 10 times for sure. And then the O is observe. Observe what's happening internally and externally and ask yourself some questions, what is happening with me? What is going on, right? And go from there. Because this is something that most people don't really realize when they're in that moment. And then, of course, proceed. Choose a response that aligns with your goals and values. And really, instead of like escalating this in your head, like, oh, what if this situation's going to be this? And what if the stop? Okay. You don't have a crystal ball that's going to know the future. If you do, please do share with me. If you do, please share with me, because intentional response lead to better outcomes and preserve your what? Reactions. Okay. And then A's additional tips here. We already had the stop. Practice regularly. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Here's the thing that I want you guys to know. The stop method actually is not, it didn't originate it, obviously, from me. It came from a doctor. His name is Dr. Kabat-Zinn. He developed the MBSR program. And basically, this program that he created is at University of Massachusetts Medical School in the late 1970s. Okay. The STOP method is a mindfulness practice that aligns closely with the teachings, although it has been adopted and widely used for various forms of different mindfulness experts and psychologists. A lot of people use the word mindful, but they really don't know where it came from, what is mindfulness really are, and what are some of the steps. And I've been revisiting my CBT book that I have been reading as well. I have a lot of CBT and ADHD book because I am leveling up myself so I can help my students. Remember, I'm an advanced student. So how I do it is I read and see, what are some of the breakdowns for those manageable thoughts. Just like you manage your tasks, you need to manage your thoughts, right? And so when you do that, just stopping gives you a moment of interruption. T, take a deep breath, right? ST. O is observe, right? What's happening internally and externally. And then P is proceed. Choose a response that aligns with your goals and your values. And then that is pretty much it when it comes to the stop method. Okay. So I am going to bring in my dear sister. Are you guys ready? Hello, sister.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a busy day, you know. We've got a book to get finished up and out the door, and I still got a few things to work on for it, but hey, it will be on time.
That's right. That's right. We always roll with the punches. Michelle, congratulations. You are the first one to comment, dear sister, at Level Up YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. If you are on LinkedIn, your messages are not going to be shown on TV. I can't really see it. It's only on YouTube where I see because LinkedIn has not allowed Wave. This is another streaming program onto LinkedIn yet. So anyhow, Michelle, thank you so much for being here, sister. Shelly, thank you so much for trusting us with your heart, with yourself last night. I'm so glad you joined our sisters Zoom.
Yep.
Dr. Nuth, happy Sunday to you as well. Hope that everything is going on with Nor. I know she just had surgery a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned. So hopefully she's doing better. Happy Sunday. All right, sister, what's your take on the stop method?
Necessary. In one word, uh, we all have these points where we have to do something like that. We need that pause. We need that to take a break, especially when our minds, especially for us with the ADHD and the squirrels and everything, being able to find that way to pause the brain, pause the thoughts, pause all the stuff that's going on, and be able to take that break. And when you talk about the breathing, it reminds me of the box method for breathing, because that's in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4, and repeat.
I do like the box breathing. Dr. Noopy actually is the one who kind of showed me how that works. I like the 4. I liked 6 to 10 for me. The reason being is, to be honest with you, the first 3, my mind's like, do. I gotta do laundry. I gotta finish my food. So I can't concentrate. So the first 3. So if I stop at 4, it doesn't work because the
Well,
fourth one is, to me, is the first one that I'm really feeling it. So I do 10.
well, in that, I mean, that's different. I'm just talking about the actual box aspect of it. In terms of the number of times, that's going to be up to each person. And some people may go longer for the holds, and the breathing and stuff. They may not just do 4s. They might go 5 or 6, depending on if they can hold their breath that long.
Yeah, I try to do 10, hold my breath for 10. Um, I have really like practiced that, I think, when I was running at one point. I did run when I was younger. Because it shuts my brain down. It's concentrating, like you need to let go. By the time I let go, it feels so good. But I think I have to work that up. 4 to 6 is comfortable, but 10 is uncomfortable. But I like to challenge myself to get, so my concentration actually changed because now I have to concentrate on breathing. Like, okay, CJ, breathe. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of, because if it's comfortable, it's never going to change. If it's uncomfortable, it actually changes for me, which I love. In terms of what we're doing with emotions, right? There's so many types of emotions. What is your default emotion when you meet someone that you are not quite sure yet? You're not mad, you're not angry, You're curious, but you just don't know. Because sometimes some people you meet, you're like, whoa, this is good. And some people you meet, you're like, I don't know.
Um, when it comes to those situations, I'll probably be a little bit more reserved as I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go with it or where it's kind of heading. Um, and there are times too that I might feel like I'm a little bit more comfortable a little quicker than I probably should be. Um, but I think over time here that's changing to just be a bit more observant going into those situations and getting a feel for the other person or the group if it's walking into a group for the first time and get that feel of is there a comfort level here and I will never walk into a space and just accept that they say that it's safe because I have to have that feel. My gut will tell me right up front, you can't trust them yet. And that's all part of the belonging too. It's like you if you don't you don't have a chance to get trust yet. So it's hard to walk into some place and unless somebody that you trust says you can trust and you're willing to take their word for it, you still have to have a little bit of time to figure out if you're going to trust the people in this group, get that feel for them, and then just be careful about no matter what they say in terms of be open, be vulnerable, be you still have to be careful at the beginning until you really have that understanding and your gut basically tells you, or for me my gut says, okay, you can start trusting this person, but as a group, don't talk about certain things because I'm unsure about these other people.
Yeah, I talk about high intentions before when it comes to your gut. I'm never wrong to trust my gut. I make mistakes because I don't trust my gut. Because sometimes I want to be wrong, like I really like this person and I want to be wrong, but there's something innate about each one of us, by the way. It's not just me and Susanna have it, you have it too. You just need to pay attention more to your body. Your body knows best. And you're right. Sometimes we trust people based on recommendations from the people we already trust. Dr. Mary talked about that. She trusts Mike's opinion and thoughts about, who has the best
Right,
anthology in Mike's eyes. Because she trusts Mike, she went with us, right? And when she did went with us, it felt right because of certain things that we do for her specifically. And so that is something that we need to take care of ourselves when it comes to trust factors. We trust sometimes. I think this is when you know the people, like, is trust earned or is trust given? There's no right and wrong answers, but for me it's always been earned. I don't just give my trust at 100%. And even then, even though you earn my trust, I'm still have little trepidations in there. It's because you just don't know people until you work with them consistently, and then you'll know exactly how they are. I know your gut was telling you you're not safe when we went to a summit, right?
right,
And people are like, oh, you need to share this, blah blah blah, and you're like, this person did not make me feel trusting at that moment. And I said, why is that? And I said, I have the same feeling, but what I shared is safe for the group, that I would not mind if they use it against me
right,
because it's the truth. um, but I think at the same time, we have trust issues because we also don't trust ourselves. That what if we say the wrong thing or the right thing? Here's what I want you to do is ask yourself, if someone you didn't know told you this same thing that you're about to say, would you like them and trust them? Because if your answer is no, then there's your right answer. You shouldn't be sharing it, right? Because it's always going to be taken wrong for people, and then you have to explain yourself. Another thing I've learned is that You don't need, okay, so when you're in a friendship or a relationship or a business partnership, and there's something that happened, and when that something happened, lost the trust factor, and you're hurt, right? I want to talk about different emotions here, and you're hurt. According to Paul Ekman's model, there are, I think, 6 different types of emotions. One is happiness, sadness. Happiness, sadness, uh, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. That was Paul Ekman's little, you know, method of basic emotions, right? And from that emotions, most people, when we get hurt and we get betrayed, or we feel like we've been betrayed and we love and trust this person and they wronged us, the first thing we want to do is we want closure. And so you want to tell them and talk to them and tell them how you feel and you want closure. First of all, you don't need closure. If they already disrespected you, whatever that comes out of that mouth is already wrong. I don't care what you have to say at that point. And I just learned that because the hard way. I usually, before, I don't trust people easily. And when I do, I still have that little inkling trepidations. And when you make mistakes in our friendship, the first time is a freebie, the second time you're out. And I let this person in 4 times. And I told myself, why did you do that, CJ? Like, ask myself, why did you do that? You've never done that with any of your relationships in the past. And I think it's because I pity the person more than anything. I pity that I wanted to help them. I maybe have a help complex. I
Yeah,
wanted to help them see that their mistakes, but the problem is they're not going to see. They already have a different narratives in their head. You're never going to change anybody. Heck, you have a hard time changing yourself, let alone changing other people. You have no control about others. What are some of your thoughts, sister, when it comes to complex emotions like guilt or jealousy?
those are, it's hard to, it can be really hard to deal with those emotions, especially when you hit a point. Well, one of them is going to be the comparison. We keep talking about stop comparing, and the jealousy, that's going to fit right up there with comparison. When you start looking at somebody and saying, and comparing yourself to them, and then you're never going to be good enough, or you don't feel like they're at your level, whatever that comparison is. And I think we've, some of the people that we've dealt with in the past, they were doing that comparison too, which creates friction, quite frankly. So that's the comparison is one of those things that definitely leads to jealousy, and in so many different ways. Um, it can be so hard to just step back, and but that's what you really got to do. If, for me, if I feel like that thought or that emotion is starting to creep up, I basically do something like what you just did. I try to stop and take and think about what is going on. What is it, and does it really matter? Because most of the time it doesn't. So you can essentially nip a problem in the bud before it blows up into something that it never had to be.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what explanation you give, it's really no point anymore, right? It's because that emotions is already there. Now, I want to talk about, we talked about guilt and jealousy. How about love and pride and gratitude and empathy, right? Love is like affection and passion and infatuation, and pride is more of like self-satisfaction and achievement. Empathy is more compassion and understanding, right? I'm not saying that only one of these things or two of these things you have. You are more than capable of having all of these emotions. But these are complex emotions because it's a combination of the basic emotions plus this emotion. Now, let's talk about loneliness, because loneliness is isolation and longing.
Yep.
And it is holidays and being lonely. And if you're lonely out there, um, just say, CJ, I need a Zoom, and I'll send you the Zoom link. That's what I did with Shelly last night because our sister Danielle's busy with her son Ezekiel. Happy birthday, Ezekiel! Tita loves you. Mahal kita. um, yeah, so Shelly, I felt energy from her, quite negative energy, and I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, we'll zoom in and see what we can do, because at the end of the zoom, and at the beginning of the zoom she was so distraught, but at the end she was smiling, and that makes my heart smile. And I told Susannah, sister, I need you to help me, help Shelly, and let's do this together. And I love that. It's because we need to help each other out. If you're lonely, if you're sad, and if you have by yourself, if you recently divorced, if you recently had a breakup, if you recently have, don't do crazy things, okay? Don't do rebound either. Like you're gonna go out and date with some other person because you were hurt. That will never work out, by the way. You're just hurting yourself the second time. I would rather have you shop and eat. I mean, I'm just saying, or binge some Netflix movie. Like, shop and eat. And that's pretty much it. Don't go shopping crazy either, okay? In moderation. Everything you do has to be moderation, right?
Oh,
Now,
yes.
let's talk about loneliness and belonging. And that's the reason why it's important for you guys to feel like you belong somewhere. And you're probably saying, no, I don't. I don't care about groups. I don't need groups and sisterhood and all this. You don't need it until you do. So you need to be nice to the people who's willing to lend a hand for you. I do want to hear from Shelly in terms of like, how did you feel? You've never met Susannah, not in a Zoom, and I've known Shelly longer than anybody in this room. I've known her since 2012. She's one of my master students in healthcare. Believe it or not, I was teaching healthcare management. No, I'm not a nurse. I would be a cute nurse, though. I'm just saying. Yeah. Um, but at the same time, I wasn't meant to be, because if I see blood, I'm gonna faint on your butt. I will totally lose my cool.
Yep.
So I wasn't meant to be, but I definitely can help with STFU my mouth and just be a good ears for you and vent. Sometimes you just need to vent. And Michelle Rama's sister, I'm praying for you, and I love you. We love you, and thank you for keeping me up with your texts and your life. I appreciate you. Michael, I think I saw Michael. Did I just saw Michael? Nicole. Nicole is my fellow CDV board member. I think she's in Colorado now. Is it snowing? I think you guys are snowing.
Probably.
Michael Habarigani. What does that mean, Michael? Tell me, bro. That was really awesome in the audio room today. How do you regulate your emotions? I want to know. I've had to Zoom last night. Yes. Tell me about loneliness, Susannah. Talk to me about loneliness and belonging.
They go hand in hand in so many ways. And for those who say they're not lonely and they can do everything alone, that may be fine for a short period of time. But over time, I think you're going to find that it gets really hard if you're trying to do everything alone. If you're Because we're not created to be alone. Even for the introvert, we still need to have some time with others as well as that alone time to recharge. It's part of life. And and so loneliness can be a really tough one to deal with. And it doesn't you don't have to be alone to feel alone either. That's one of the things I think a lot of people don't quite understand, or they don't quite figure out until maybe it's too late, that you can be with somebody else. You can be in a family, in an organization, and you can still feel totally alone in that space, which means you're not feeling like you're belonging. You don't have that. You're not in a space where you feel like you can trust everybody. You're not in a space that you feel there's somebody that you can talk to, that you can actually drop the mask and be your authentic self. And that's one of the other things that kind of fits into all of that, because I talk about masks so much because we have aspects of ourselves that we will hide because we're afraid of how others are going to view us or treat us. It can be mental health, it can be a non-regional accent. It is so many different things. And when we're in that space where we feel like we have to hide ourselves, then we're not in a space that we belong, because we're spending our energy hiding. We're spending our energy, so much of it, that we can only interact with people superficially. So even if you're in the workplace, you'll get your work done, but it probably won't be as great as it could be if you could stop wasting time with your masks and just be yourself and engage with people and not worry if you slip and let them see something about you, that maybe you overcame an addiction, and you don't have to worry that people are going to then look down upon you, because we all have things. We're all different. We have all these different aspects in our lives. We all have a reason to hide something. We all, or call it the skeleton in the closet if you want. There's always something that's being hidden. So loneliness and belonging kind of go together, because once you feel like you're belonging, you're not you're probably going to find that you're not feeling so much lonely anymore.
With us, you have to be willing to be yourself. You
Yep.
have to be willing to just be yourself. Who cares? Like literally, while Shelly was talking, I was like, okay, let me take up my makeup off now because I'm like going
Yep.
to bed soon. And she's like, whoa. And I'm like, I don't care. You can see me the way I am. I'm like, I have nothing to hide. Literally, it doesn't matter. Um, I love makeup. I'm not hiding any. Okay, okay, maybe this stupid freaking burnt whatever in there that you can see. But at the same time, we're so judgy. Most of us are so judgy as if we're perfect. I'm telling you, like, we're living in a two-dimensional world in our head because it's like, don't sell me anything, but let me buy, right? Don't tell me anything, but I need some support, huh? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's I don't want to buy your courses, but I need amplification. Figure out exactly what you need, because that's how we can help you. Is you have to help yourself first so that we can level you up. And I like what Michael actually say here. He says, discover that jealousy is an attribute that comes from competition and comparisons with another person or personality. Yeah, because you know why you compare yourself too much. I mean, you can compare yourself in a healthy way, just like what Paulette was saying this
Right.
morning, right? It's a healthy competition, but that is the positive emotions. You're excited, like, oh my god, let's do this, let's have 10 more books each one of us, sister. That's a competition, but that is more an excitement competition. You're
Right.
enthusiastic, you're anticipating, right? And you have hope, you have optimism, you have faith that you're going to do it, and you aspire to do better. Relief, this is more a comfort and ease and release. It's like, okay, it's a relief that if I needed somebody to read my chapter, someone like Susannah will be able to read, even though she might be publishing another book, right? And of course, there's going to be playfulness between us. You're like, sister, let's get some more hair. You know what I mean? Like, or more, populage or makeup or whatever. It's not
Yep.
like we're comparing. We're not competing. We literally just wanted to do ourselves better and have fun, and we're being playful because it's an admiration for each other and how much we can push each other, really. But these are positive emotions: excitement, hope, relief, amusement, and awe. Now let's talk about negative emotions: frustration, shame, anxiety, resentment, despair. These are really like, wow, discomfort and challenges of emotions, right? When you're frustrated, you get annoyed and you get irritated quite easily. When you feel humiliated, right? You feel shameful, you tend to not reach out, or you tend to not show up because it's so embarrassing. Then the next thing is now you're uneasy. You're nervous to be in the same room as these people because you talk crap about them, right? Now they're going to probably resent you. They're going to have indignation. They're going to have bitterness towards you because you did this. You have a little bit of resentment in there. And then you're going to be like, I try to reach out, but now they're like blocking me. So then you feel despair. It's feeling of hopelessness and, despondency. So you're like, I don't know, I just give up, right? More often is we don't actually look in ourselves of what we did wrong. It's always she did this or he did this. And you're always staying in that what is that called, sister? Oh my gosh, why is that word's not coming in my brain? Victim mentality, right? We have some people we know who's always staying on the victim mentality. Stop. You need to get up, stop making excuses, and just go do with it, right? And if you apologize, be genuine about your apology. So, what are you? What do you think about the negative emotions? Frustration, shame, anxiety, resentment, and despair. How do you get out of it?
Awareness. You have to be aware of what's going on. Just because you start down that path doesn't mean that you're aware that you have control. Sometimes you talk about the victim and the victim mentality. A lot of times that's just going down the path and probably complaining that you're going down this path, that you at some point it's your choice to stay on that path. You may not realize you've started that path. And at some point you know you're on this path, but you're not sure how to change anything, and you just keep taking in and dishing out all the negativity. But at some point, if you have that awareness, you realize you can get off of the path. You don't have to be the victim. Unfortunately, I think there's some people that being a victim is their identity. And so if that's their identity, they're going to keep doing the anxiety and the anger and everything that is in that you're going to find on that path. Because I do believe there's a lot of people who they they wouldn't know what to do if they got off of that path. They don't have that awareness that taking control of their life and doing something different can be something that is really, it's transforming and life changing in very positive ways. But if they can't see it, they just stay where they're at. And for a lot of them, it becomes their identity. And when you get comfortable with an identity, it's very hard to give it up, even if you see the benefits of change.
Ouch. I was like, ouch. Yeah, I've seen people who are like that, where they like to be the victim all the time.
Hmm.
Okay, Michael, I'm gonna try. So habari gani is Swahili phrase like, how are you? I'm gonna memorize that. I'm like, yes, Michael taught me. Um, in Tagalog is kumusta ka. Kumusta ka means how are you. Mahal kita means I love you. Typical response, zuri, good. Salama, peaceful. Oh, salamat is thank you for us. You have salama. For us, it's thank you. Mindima, fine. Mbaya, bad. Ooh, okay. So I'm just gonna have an attitude like, baya. Baya. You gotta teach me how to say this, because then they'll be like, what are you talking about, Dr. Leland? I don't know. Michael taught me. And I don't know how to say it right. Seriously. Jesus, help me. Okay, I said people seek the trophies, but not the training ground. People like shortcut, but not work for it. People like to latch on for freebies, but not pay for it. Right? I'm telling you, I watch you, whoever you are. If you're on my peripheral and I give you whatever, I'm watching you if you are that type of brother or sister. right?
Right.
And you don't have to give me financial whatever. It could be, supporting through engagement. It could be supporting like you guys are doing right now. I see you. Nicole, you need to be on my live stream, by the way, sister, right? I see you. And I love the consistency that you guys provide. Another thing I want to also say is everyone is jealous of what you've got, but not jealous of how you've got it.
That's true. A lot of people don't realize what it takes to get to where you are. So they only see the end result and they'll be jealous of the end result. But if they had to take the same steps that you did, they wouldn't want to do it. It's just the same as that comparison we've talked about so many times. When you compare yourself to somebody else's story, that you have to understand that what they went through, you may think it's worse than what you went through and you would never survive it. Yet, for them, if they tried to go what you went through, they wouldn't survive it either. What we go through and survive was meant for each of us.
Yep. Yep, that's so true. I'm going to go with the self-conscious emotions, guys. There are four. These emotions arise from self-reflection and tied to personal or social standards. And we know our social standards lately. You know what I mean? I don't have to explain. Shame, feeling inadequate or exposed. Guilt, feeling regret for a specific action. Pride, satisfaction in accomplishments. And embarrassment, discomfort from social missteps, right? I like when I laugh with my own embarrassment because I embarrass myself. Like sometimes I'd be walking, I'd be looking cute, and I have like 6-inch heels because my husband's 6'1", and then my feet twist, and I'm like, ooh, trying to grasp in the air, and I'm like, no one saw that, right? And I just start flipping my hair like I'm fine, and start putting my lipstick on. I'm good at that, okay? Like, no one see that I was like, trying to look cute, and he didn't look cute at the same time. Social emotions, affection, admiration, envy, and contempt. And contempt is literally, I feel like a lot of people have that we've let go already, is the feeling of superior to others. I think people think that they're better in some capacity or another. I can say half and half on this one. There are people who are better at what you're doing, but not better as a person. Um, I am probably better on most in terms of structuring my time. I can literally do 6 projects all at once adequately, no problem. Um, you've seen it,
I've
but
seen it.
yeah, but cleaning my house, whoo, that's not something I'm really good at. It's just
Nope.
not happening, right? So I can be better, yes, on specific things. But if you say I'm better as a person than you, I don't think so. I think that for us, there's bad and good in each and every one of us. But the default, either you're bad seed as a default and you're masking yourself as a good person by giving things away for people, or it could be your default is good and your people are looking and giving narratives as bad because they're jealous of you and what you're doing for the community. So there's always that. But if you stay true to your core, right, and consistently show for yourself, your people will come towards you, no problem. Calm emotions, there's our contentment, satisfaction and serenity, relaxation and fulfillment. I really, by helping other people, it's a sense of achievement and completeness for me, and I know for Susannah as well, where when we help a sister out or a brother out, we do it from the bottom of our hearts and love, not to judge you, not to shame you, but to tell you, hey, the reason that we're actually spending time right now with you is because we care about you, and these behaviors or these things are not acceptable. I don't know if no one ever told you this, but we care enough to spend time with you to tell you that this is not acceptable. Could you do me a favor and do this, this, and this? Here's the thing: when you tell a friend that something is not acceptable, you got to give them a solution. Don't just shame them and put that problem in their face, but give them solutions on how they can do better, because that's the only way to do it. And then, of course, this moral emotions. This is the last one. Compassion, indignation, and gratitude. I am so full of gratitude to each and every one of you here. And of course, to all the people who constantly come in and support us, even though you don't, message like here on do live chat with us, you do DM and email me. Thank you so much. Again, I apologize. My calendar is full. I don't know what month it is now, actually. I think it's still August. I apologize. But if you have the Mondays coffee chat, do not skip it, because you will wait 7 to 8 months. So do not skip it. Just come in, and I promise you we will do something together. And it doesn't need to cost money or anything. It's just a matter of collaboration over competition. And I'm big at that. Sister, what is your last message or parting message in terms of emotional regulation? We talk so much about different emotions, from moral to calm to social to self-consciousness to positive, negative, and of course complex emotions. What are some of your last minute emotional regulation tips?
Well, okay. So when you list out some of those as well, some of the first thoughts I had was bullying, because some of those emotions are what people use against others to basically force them to do something, to bully them. So that was another thought that I had in terms of regulating. Really, the best approach that I see is having that awareness of what's going on. And you may start down a path of some type, but once you've got the awareness, understand that that means you can change it. And awareness is different than knowing, because you might know you're on a path, but you're not willing to take action. When you're aware that you can make a change, and all it takes is for you to act, that's when you are more likely to take action and make a change, especially when you're down one of those paths that's more negative, especially if you're on a path that you're focusing on comparing yourself with somebody else, or you're comparing other people to each other. And the question becomes, why? Because each of us is different, each of us is unique, each of us has a different purpose. And anybody who's going to try and say you all have to be the same, they're full of crap, because we can't be the same. We were not created the same. So understand that we are unique, and you're going to have a different journey through all of this than anybody else. It'll be similar to some, it'll be nothing like others.
I love that. Another thing is, someone actually tried to correct me about, I said, you might have the capabilities, but you don't have the capacity, and they got offended. And I said, do you even know the definition between the two? I just want you to tell me what you think they are, right? Because this is what I said. Capacity is about how much you can do, while capabilities are about how well you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when I say that you don't have the capacity, is not an insult,
No.
right? It just means that, hey, sometimes it's just too much because you have a lot going on in your life. You have the capabilities, but you might not have the capacity. That's another thing too. And the reason I said, do you know the difference? It's not an insulting question either, because listen, English is my seventh language. So sometimes I might need a definition or two. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. But this is my thoughts on capacity and capabilities. Capabilities, you're more than capable. Everybody is, right? If you put your mind into it, there's no way you can't do anything you want. By the way, everybody does. You have that. But capacity, we have 24 hours. You might not be able to do this project with me because you don't have the capacity. There is nothing wrong with that sentence. And they literally got offended. I'm like, do you know the difference between capacity and capabilities? Because these are two things, right? And so make sure, guys, all I'm saying is miscommunication happens all the time. And if you care about your friendship, business partnership, or whoever that you are having that miscommunication with, make sure that your pride is not above what's needed. Because when you're prideful, nothing works. Everybody's against you. Eat that pride, put it somewhere else, and said, okay, let's talk. What do you think that was? But don't do that to everybody, because not everybody deserves your time. You could be giving, I'm giving most people a level 10, a level 10 open arms with my lockbox, when your capability, not capacity, I am saying capability, is only a level 3. And that's when we have issues, because my expectation is I'm giving you responsibility here at level 10, but you're not capable yet because you're not there yet. Right. And so I have to create those boundaries and said, whoops, CJ, you need level 3 because they're at level 3 right now. Don't be giving them level 10, because now they're going to feel bad. Right.
Yep.
But I'm only human. So I can't always think of 100% that that's what it is. But once I get to know you, then I can at least match your energy and match where your capabilities and capacities are. But sister, any favorite quote you would like to share before we end?
I would say see people for who they are and not how they look, because so many people, I've been blessed when I can see a person, I can see something more than just what they look like, because that's not who they are. What they look like isn't who they are.
No.
It's the core. It's that authentic self. It's that something that is different.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you. All 1,000 of you. I think we hit 1,300 at one point here on our YouTube channel. Thank you. This is my capacities, the space to act, and capabilities are the skills to excel. Do you have it? I don't know. Love you guys. See ya. Bye, everybody. See you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Well, no, Sunday.
Tuesday.
Bye, everybody. See ya.